Okay. Are you going to sign your contract at any point?
Am I going to sign it? Yeah, I hope to at some point, yeah. It's still with legal people at the moment, so I anticipate to make Brom, so yeah, I think it'll get done quite quickly.
Are you looking forward to this game? Because Tony Pulis for many years was Mr. Stoke, wasn't he? It was a hard job to follow, if you like, because of what he'd done.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've acknowledged Tony's work here. Almost every interview I've done, but when I'm asked the question, I think, and that's right to do that. I think it's fair to say I got the job because having spoken to people here, there was a real feeling that the team was looking like it was starting to fail, so there needed to be a change. So that's why I got the opportunity here, and thankfully so. And I think the way the team has gone since, and the work that the players have done, has been quite exceptional. I think always it's the players have really deserved the credit for obviously embracing a completely different way of working, embracing new targets, new ways of working, and they've been exceptional in that regard, and that's why I think we've been able to do what we've been able to do up to this point. Obviously last year was a great season for us, first finished in the top 10. The challenge again this year was to be able to get somewhere near that again. It looks like, touch wood, we're likely to do that for the second season running. So yeah, it was a challenge. It was a challenge for me. Obviously I came here with a little bit of cloud over my tenure at the previous club, so I needed to make it work for a lot of reasons. But like I said, I was able to come here, good group of players who probably, fair to say, needed regenerating, re-stimulated, and credit to them because they've embraced everything that I've put forward and put in front of them. And that's the key, really. You've got to have players working exceptionally hard and making things happen, and that's what they've done, so credit to them.
Stoke was almost the benchmark for the hard knock element of the Premier League, wasn't it? You know, can he stand a cold night? The Brit was levelled at a player when he came in. Are you happy with the transition that you've knocked it on? Because I remember the first couple of months when you came in, people were going, oh, you know, they're still launching it, they're still doing well, and you're having to defend yourself. So are you happy with it?
I think we've got a good balance at the moment. I think we've got a lot of qualities that you need in the Premier League. First and foremost, you need to be competitive, you need to challenge, compete in every game that you play. But if you want to go to the next level, if you want to try and push on, if you want to try to be consistently a top 10 team, which was something I had mentioned when I first came here, then you've got to have something else. That's what I hope I've been able to add. We've been able to have a more possession-based game, and I think that's helped us to have more control in games. As a consequence, we've been able to be consistent in a very difficult league, and it's going okay at the moment. We're on the back of a great run. Three games on the trot. We're going for a fourth. We're looking forward to the game because we're in good form, and it's the next one.
Having seen what you did when you came in, do you think, with hindsight now, Tony needed a new challenge as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's been borne out by obviously the jobs he's done at the clubs that he's been at. I think he went into Crystal Palace and good group of players there, and he got them going. And quite rightly was manager of the year last year, so he did an outstanding job there. Similar situation at West Brom, probably not as quite as dire a situation as he inherited at Crystal Palace. I think everybody feels that West Brom will be fine. But no, it's always difficult going into clubs to have an impact, and managers have to be able to do that. And when clubs recognise that you've got a manager that is able to go into clubs and have an effect, then they become coveted managers.
Do you feel like it's a bit of a battle of wits with you and Tony? Obviously, we're going to build it up like that. So do you feel it? Because last year, I think Palace won, didn't they? So obviously, you want to win this.
Yeah, well, it's the next game up for us. As I said, we're looking forward to it. We're in good form, and we can't wait, to be perfectly honest. We've obviously had a couple of days off after the last game, and I think that's helped us. We obviously come through a period where we've struggled with injuries, but the lads have stepped up, and you haven't really seen the effect of those injuries to key players. As a lot of people would have thought you would have done, because at one point we were down to the bare bones in terms of the players available, but we're able to keep our run going, our form going. I think we're in the form table, I think since Boxing Day. I think someone told me that we're near the top, something like third or fourth in the form table, so we're in a good position at the moment. So the next game up is the one that we're looking forward to.
What sort of Albion side do you think you're going to come up against, particularly after the last, well, 2 defeats to local rivals Villa, the way it ended last week? What do you think you're going to find?
Yeah, 2 difficult games for them, obviously. Local rivals, cup game, league game, really important league game for them. They lost them both, so they'll be looking to address that. It's a home game for them, so you would think that they would look to be really positive in the game. If they do that, then there may be opportunities for us to continue our good away form. Something like 5 away wins, most we've ever had in the Premier League. Up to this point, we hope to add to that total, because that's one of the things that when we look back on this season, we'll look at something that we've achieved, something that hasn't been done before. So we're constantly setting those targets and putting those things in front of the players to keep them stimulated.
Ryan Shawcross here, he's back fit. If he is, do you risk changing the side? Or?
Well, we've looked at Ryan this week. He's trained for the most part in the week. Obviously we've eased him into it because we're obviously conscious we didn't want to react to the work that he's been given. That hasn't happened, thankfully, so as long as there's been no reaction to the work he had yesterday, then obviously he's in my thoughts. We've got a doubt obviously over Philip Walshide anyway. Obviously missed the game. Jeff Cameron came in, did really well, so I have got options if those 2 don't make it. So I think the break that we've had over the weekend has enabled us to get a lot of players back up to speed. Others that were probably hanging on and just getting through games, that's given them a bit of breathing space as well. So I think in the next couple of weeks we'll get most of them back.
This game aside, can I just ask you about English, well, Premier League sides in Europe this season? Are they falling behind, or just not done themselves justice, do you think?
They'll probably feel that they haven't done themselves justice. I think a little bit of hysteria about it. I think what happens is when you get to the latter stages of European competitions, they become cup competition knockouts. So there is the chance that on any given round of cup competition, be it every cup, Champions League, Europa League, then there's the danger that teams will go out. If it coincides with almost every English team going out at the same level, then people think there's a crisis in English football and British football. I think it's fair to say they haven't been as good this year as we'd all hoped. Obviously, English teams in the Champions League and Europa League fly the flag for the Premier League, and we all feel this is the strongest league. So we want to see our teams do well, but maybe they've underachieved a little up to this point. But to say there's something drastically wrong with the Premier League and English football, I don't think that's right.
What about the assimilation, cheating, call it what you like, and then the subsequent surrounding the referee? Do you think the Premier League's as bad as anywhere else, or do you think it's slightly worse across Europe?
I think there's occasions where you're a little bit disappointed by behaviour of players in isolated games. I don't think it's right through the league. I think the Premier League is the most watched league in world football, in my view, because it's honest for the most part. But you always get occasions where maybe players and teams collectively let themselves down. But across the board, I think it's something that's in the game, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. It's something that obviously you need to be aware of it. It can escalate, in my view. Hopefully it won't, but I think we're doing okay, to be perfectly honest.
Are you all right with it if one of your players does it and gains you an advantage, or would you still be annoyed with it?
No, I think what happens is there's a danger that when a player's been fouled, players will go down to ensure that referees give the right decision. I haven't got a problem with that. I think it's when players go down when there's been no contact and trying to get an unfair advantage, and when they're trying to get other fellow professionals into trouble and getting sent off. I think we've all been guilty of it. I've done it as a player. Probably encouraged players under my direction to do it to my shame, but in the heat of emotional games, that's what happens, and you have to accept it to a certain extent, as long as it doesn't get to levels that are unacceptable.
You beat West Brom 2-0 earlier in the season. How much of a change do you think this West Brom team will be from the one you faced under Alan Irvine?
Well, I mean, they become a lot more difficult to beat, as you would imagine, given what you expect, the work that they're doing on a daily basis. It's obviously helping them at the moment, being able to get positive results. They've been able to stop leaking goals, because that was obviously a problem for them prior to Tony Pulis getting the job. So we steadied this ship somewhat, but they've always had good players, always had good ability in the side, and it's a difficult game for us because they have got threats, obviously, up front. They've got good talent, so we have to be mindful of that. But I think it's important from our point of view, we just go into the game with confidence, and that holds true whoever you're up against. But at the moment we're in good shape, so we're looking forward to it. Obviously West Brom are in better shape than they were last time out when we went up against them, but they will still have to play well to beat us.
You've had kind of 10 days off because of the FA Cup weekend. Were you able to work on anything? Were you able to give people a break? What did you do with all that extra time?
We give them 4 days off. It was important that they just went away from the club and just chilled out. Some did their own thing, some stayed at home, some went away. It was important for the support staff as well, because the medical staff have done an outstanding job in recent weeks, and every one of them has been in, I think, all season. Didn't even have time off for Christmas. They went right through. So it was the first time I was able to give them any time off as well. So that was important. So everybody's come back really refreshed, looking forward to it again.
You have a nice break as well?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I had a couple of days off. Didn't get too far, but yeah, it was fine, thanks.
Thank you. Good luck.
Mark,
Thank you.
under the team under you haven't won 4 games in the league since you've been here, but the last time that happened was in 2011 under Tony Pulis. That shows the good work he did, but obviously you've made leaps and bounds since then.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're looking to do that. We're always trying to achieve and do things that Stoke hasn't done in the Premier League, and we've been able to achieve a lot. And in the time I've been here, there's lots of targets there that haven't been reached yet, and we'd like to think if we can get consecutive results. It's so important in the Premier League, certainly at this end of the season when we're coming to the last 10 games, and you can really kick on and finish your season off in style if you continue in the same vein. Winning 4 games, hopefully 5, 6 if we can manage it. It's a big ask for a team that has aspirations to be a top 10 team. Usually only probably 4, 5, 6 teams at the top of the Premier League have the capability of winning that amount of games back to back. So for us to get close to it is something we're really doing.
But to aspire to be in that, to get to a European place in the future, you're going to have to put runs like this together. I mean, Stoke haven't won 5 games in a row in the league since 1951. So,
yeah.
To be a top side, you're going to have to.
Yeah, you've got to aspire to that, and that's one of the goals we've set ourselves this year, to be able to have that capacity to do that. And we've got an opportunity now to do it for the first time. We'll try our best to do that. We're playing well. You need confidence. You need a good run of results. You've got to take your chances when they present themselves to you, and obviously play to your maximum. If you can do that, then you can go on a run. And I think this time of the year, sometimes teams are guilty of taking their eye off the ball sometimes if they're not involved at the top end or the bottom end. But that certainly won't happen with us. Didn't happen last year because we were able to keep the group going, and I see exactly the same signs this year, that we've got the same mentality, the same focus that we had at this time last year. So I'm encouraged by that, and we'll see how the last 10 games go for us.
The confidence seems to be really high, and West Brom have a fantastic record against you. I was talking to Phil Bardsley earlier in the week, and he said the boys are really looking forward after having such a long break to getting back. And
yeah, I think there's a real sense of that, and I think that comes from winning games. Obviously, you have confidence in your own ability and the effect that you've had as an individual in the games that you've played, but obviously collectively they draw strength from their teammates as well. And at the moment they're really strong, they're really tight together, and that's helping us win games.
Just last one from me. Tony Pulis has been announced as a manager of the month for last month. Obviously, sometimes that can be a little bit of a curse. Maybe you're hoping that might be the case on Saturday?
Well, let's hope so. More often than not, if you get that, you lose the next game. It's happened many times, so let's hope that's the case.
Mark, one of the perks of the job of being Stoke City manager is that, well, apart from the car parking space and the free oatcakes, is you get to beat West Brom on a regular basis. But I would cite that this is probably the most difficult game Stoke are going to be playing against West Brom, if not for years, for decades actually.
Yeah, there seems to be right through Premier League, all leagues, to be perfectly honest. There always seems to be one club that seems to find it more easy to overcome another club, and there's lots of examples of that. I can't name any, but the one we're talking about is clearly one. I mean, there's no rhyme or reasons behind it really. You can't really put your finger on why Stoke have had such a good record against them. I would imagine it's because of good play and good determined play, and opportunities being taken at the right times. So we were able to win last year there. Played really well on the day, controlled the game, deserved to win. But like you said, this game is a completely different circumstance, different time of the season as well, different manager. So it's the next one up. It's always the difficult game ahead is the one that's immediately in front of you. So we have no doubt that it's going to be hard to keep the run going in terms of positive results there. But there's no reason to think we can't do it. There's nothing in our way to stop us having another positive result. We just got to play well.
You've had a few days off. I believe you were at Cheltenham Racecourse. Was that right?
I was, yeah, on Wednesday.
Did you pick any winners?
I did actually. I was designated driver, so I wasn't partaking of Guinness. So maybe that cleared my mind, and I was able to get more results on the body. I had about 2 or 3 winners, so I'm not a betting man, but I usually just go for the day out, and it was very enjoyable.
Did you listen to Taff then?
Huh?
You didn't listen to Taff then?
No, you did okay as well, by the way. But yeah, we had a good day. Thanks.
Did you read the form, or did you choose on names and things like that?
Well, I think on Wednesday everybody was saying it was difficult to pick winners, so I just got a pen out and just dotted the names, and it seemed to work. First 3 races anyway.
Wasn't dodging bullets, was it, Mark?
Yeah, I got that one. Beach way.
Is that any significance at all?
No.